Thank you very much, Terry. I've been asked to step in by Carlton Spindle, who is the inventor of this technology, and I don't have hands-on clinical personal experience, but I've done it a number of times here in the laboratory, working with them, so I'm familiar with it. And this technology is it's really high-tech and really simple, okay? Which means the high-tech is in its simplicity, and it's based on doing cases that I would say are pretty much straightforward, everyday, simple, standard cases that you don't have the availability of navigation. You have fluoro. You don't want to do a lot of radiation. You can use it as a backup in case your navigation and robotic system were to fail and break down. But it's a technology which, does everybody know what a gyroscope is? Of course we do. We know what a gyroscope is. You can go back to the other trajectory. But so here's a sawbones model, and that's what we're going to work on. And we're going to show you how we can actually put pedicle screws in with really very little radiation, or maybe even none. If it takes as little as one fluoro shot to give us anatomy that we already know. Okay, so a little bit of background is, how many surgeons out there know that the curvature and the angle of pedicle anatomy, okay, starts up at L1, which is 5 degrees lateral to medial trajectory. You go to L2, it's 10 degrees. You go to L3, it's 15 degrees, right? And everybody knows that, and 20 and 25 and so forth. So based on that information and having cases, which would be ideal cases, is that the case that you would do would be something that's a pretty straightforward case, spondylo case, things like that with anatomy that you don't need high-powered technology. It could be done in the outpatient surgery center is probably its best application, is what would be my guess. But anyway, this technology, and you can see the numbers on the bottom of the screen. Don't go back there. There you go. So the numbers on the bottom of the screen show us medial to lateral to medial trajectory. See that? Okay, it's the upper number, which is right, at L5. Now, I'm not showing this model, but you know where I'm pointing. And it's based on actually L4, okay? And L4 is usually parallel to the floor, and we're going to show you that. So we need to do an AP fluoro so we know that everything is symmetric, okay? And I'm just going to go through this, but it makes the assumption that you know the anatomy and you know the entry point, and it is a technology which is approved for open instrumented cases, and you want to put pedicle screws, and your ideal case would be a single level, and presumably L4-5. Okay, so we have that picture. AP, here's normal looking anatomy. We want to make sure that the spinous processes hopefully are in the correct anatomic orientation. Then we're going to shoot one picture in a lateral view, okay? And the entry point of where I'm holding this instrument is where a mammillary process would be in the spine, okay? So that's where it is. Okay, simply, okay, and if I hold the instrument straight up and down, the top number, the axial view, shows that if I'm straight up and down at 0, okay, that's straight up and down. Okay, and everybody remembers what's L4 anatomy? It's 20 degrees lateral to medial, and we're going to simply lateralize the instrument, this gyroscope, which you know it goes up and down like that, but we're going to go out to 20 degrees. Okay? And it's pretty darn accurate that this thing, if I'm not holding this thing steady, there you go, 19, 20 degrees lateral to medial. And we're going to shoot a lateral x-ray. Ready to shoot one? Okay. So that shows us that we're 4 degrees, and we're going to tip caudally a little bit. Shoot a picture. Sorry about that. I'm going the wrong direction, but there we go. Shoot it. Okay. Parallel to the L4 vertebral end plate. right? And so the sagittal, okay, is not of great importance because we just shot one localizing X-ray, and we know that we want to be at 20 degrees, right, at L4, okay? And that simply is, can you use a Jamshidi needle? This is a pedicle probe, and we know that we're at 20 degrees. Don't worry about the sagittal numbers, shoot a picture. Okay. Hand needs to go toward the head a little bit. And you know from CT scans, MRI scans, whatever you have, is that the length of your pedicle screw, you can measure on those on the computer screen. Okay? There we go. There's our trajectory. And so you know how long pedicle screws are supposed to be, right? 40, 45 millimeters if you need to check them, if it's a large or small patient. So there you go. There's your 20 degrees lateral to medial, and that is your trajectory, and you can drop a pedicle screw in. And it does take a little bit of experience, obviously, being a spine surgeon, that this shouldn't be your first case, because I think you need to have some other different technology if you've not put a lot of pedicle screws in. But this is for the little more sophisticated surgeon who wants simplicity, as I said. The outpatient surgery center is an ideal place. Now, we can do this basically at every single level that we know the entry point, we know the medial lateral trajectory, and we need to know, which level we're at. And if we go to L5, it's exactly the same repeated measurement. If you go to the other side, it's the same thing. Okay, so if we go down to L5, shoot one picture. Okay, and we know that we got a double screen. That's actually good. And my watch. Okay, so there's your trajectory. L5 is 25 degrees lateral to medial. And that's our trajectory, which we're coming from lateral to medial. Same thing at the sacrum. Okay, the sagittal, it's 19 degrees from what L4 was. Okay, I think that's actually how simple this is. Simple and powerful. Simple and very, very powerful. I mean, if you know the basic anatomy of the spine and where the entry point is, if you want to shoot an AP, you could. But otherwise, we're ready to drop pedicle screws in both levels.
So
go to the
Dr. Johnson,
opposite side, and we're good.
Dr. Johnson, so this is definitely a different direction, right? This is one where
Somebody asking me a question?
Oh, can you hear me?
No.
Can Dave? Are we getting the audio over there yet?
Yes, we can now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so this is definitely a different track. We were just looking at AR and robots, so it's important for the audience to shift gears a little bit. Like, just as a first timer seeing it, like a lot of the audience, the yellow is angle deviation from the midline on the axial kind of rotation, and then the blue is the sagittal, how much your hand drops towards the head. Yep. So it's a gyroscope. There is no multi-million-dollar purchase for a camera, a bunch of disposables, software, a tower. Sounds like this is something where you throw on an iPad and that's all you need.
That's what you need, is an iPad. That's how simple this is. The complete antithesis to $1 million robotic or navigation system, that you need a whole crew of people. This can be done by one person standing at the operating room table.
It almost seems like you need to calculate maybe ideal trajectories before on like a pre-op CT or
you do.
A spot shot AP lateral, and then you can kind of get your targets and kind of go from there, right?
Yep, that's what I mentioned at the beginning, is that you need to look at your MRI and CT or CT anatomy, and you will be able to see if the anatomy is what you expect is kind of normal anatomy, and see if there are any issues with pedicle size. You look at this specimen, you've got huge pedicles. So this is how to drop screws in with very little technology, except this is powerful but simple technology. And I could see that it would work in the right place if I needed to bail myself out of some case.
Sig?
Pat, Sig Brevin here. Would you be comfortable using this for a deformity case where we don't have the normal anatomy that you were talking about, where T12 being 0 in the axial plane, L5 being 25? So in a patient with deformity, would you be comfortable doing that based on a preoperative image?
Yes. Yes.
That's a simple answer. Okay.
Simple answer. Yes.
You're also
asked a
comfortable
simple
riding
question.
bulls, and I'm not. So moving on from there, what about when you're pushing on it? So
Shoot.
one of the things about navigation is sort of not disrupting the anatomy, and that's why we use a drill. So what about pushing on it? How does that affect the rotation?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part of your question, Sig.
What about when you're actually physically pushing on this? How does that affect the rotation and the navigation? So you were using some force there to try and get that probe into that styrofoam. So one of the things about navigation that works well is you use a drill so you're not disrupting the anatomy. But here you're really pushing on it. Does that affect the accuracy?
You got a drill? We have a drill? Yeah. You can attach this to any instrument you have. Here's a jamsheety mounted to a drill. Screw every step that you would want, and obviously the sawbones. This sawbone's not a good sawbones because it's super resistant, and I can't put the pedicle probe down in it. But every instrument's available. You have another one. I mean, so you can tap if you want, but use a self-tapping screw is what I would suggest. So.
I'm just trying to think of other utilities. If you're assessing deformity correction, your PSO, you can kind of have it in one plane and drop it and say, I got 30 degrees or something. I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not a true expert in this, as I said in my disclaimer. Actually, Mr. Spindle's champion surgeon, a couple of them were unable to make it, and they asked me to do this simply because I've had some familiarity with it in the laboratory, and I've been kind of enamored with it. It's FDA approved. He's gotten a lot of interest from a lot of people for the simplicity, and as I said, it can replace in straightforward cases, seven-figure technology that obviously has got its limitations financially.
Okay. Any other questions from the audience? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right.
It's interesting. I think the robot systems that I know do have angular measurements as the screws are going down, right? You don't really catch it, but it's like across the top and they show. So I think there's some value and utility there, definitely. But
yeah, when we had a problem with our robot one time, we took pictures of our pre-planned screws and the actual measurements. You could actually click on each screw. So then when we rebooted it, and we just actually made them to be exactly the same. So that in every system, you actually could pull up what degree it is.
Okay. All right. So we're a little ahead of schedule, but that's great. Our next speaker, personal invitation of mine, Brett.